Welcome everybody, welcome to this Be Better series of videos. Today we are talking about On Becoming a Leader by the deemed Dean of Leadership Gurus, the great Warren Bennis. Be Better series of videos on Becoming a Leader by Warren Bennis. Leaders are not born, leaders are made. Leadership is more crucial than we know, and it can be learned by anyone. Leaders are not born but made, and leadership can be learned by anyone. True leaders are not interested in proving themselves. True leaders want to become, above all, express themselves fully. Life is not a competition but a flowering. The leader needs to blossom. It is their inner yearning, their want, their desire. So they don't compete but they blossom into, become into something better, which is what leadership is. So expressing themselves. Proving oneself implies a limited or a static view. But a leader continuously seeks to express themselves, reinvention, innovation, difference in bringing about a difference in the lives of others. Real learning is a process of remembering what is important to us. We should always remember what is important to the individual and to the institution. Becoming a leader is therefore an act of conscious decision. Continuous learning and never dying curiosity is what is required to be a leader. Becoming a leader involves many things, of which continuous learning and never dying curiosity, a compelling vision. Leaders first define their reality, what they believe, what is possible, what is required, and then they manage their dream by bringing about a team who will also have a joint ownership, belief of getting into that objective. Developing the ability to communicate that the vision and inspire others. Once you have a dream, you have to communicate to others. You have to tolerate uncertainty because life is full of randomness and chance. And you have to take risk, a calculated risk, a fair risk by understanding and researching. And then you need to be a little bit daring. If you sit in a place, nothing will come in a plate. Personal integrity is more important because self-knowledge, candor, maturity, welcoming criticism, all these are important. Be true to your word. People and organizations should not be focusing on small matters and short-term results. They should be focusing on larger things. Other things that is important for becoming a leader is using the context of your life. Don't surrender, but look at the culture and environmental background. You have to see success in small everyday increments. Don't wait for a giant leap. And this success will come from your tiny, atomic, mini, small habits. Big success will come when you start acting. Passion for the promises of life. Life has a lot of things to offer to you. You should be thankful and look at the promises. Believe in the best. Believe in others. Believe in yourself. 20th century business was mostly about managing rather than leading. But what is required in this century is leaders. Being a one-off. Be original. Be unique. Be not run-of-the-mill. Leaders learn from others but are not made by others or made from others. They are unique. Reinvention. That is what is required. Create new things. Recreating yourself, recreating others, recreating the solutions, recreating the processes, the techniques, the methods. We are influenced by our past in the form of institution and individual, but we are all unique. Taking time off to think. Go for a break, reflect, recharge, refresh, regenerate. That will give you answers and produce better solutions for the problems on hand. Learn to stop being a product of your context. Don't be bound by the time or space. What is a leadership context? A path of a driven person is an easy one since it does not require much thought. Why? Because it has become habitual to you. You are sold already. To lead, we have to make a declaration of independence. Independence against what? Independence against estimation of others, the views or the opinions or the remarks that others make. Also, the estimate that people have about us on our culture, on our age, etc. That means you can be successful at any age, any gender, any situation, any environment, any culture. We can see our context as a backdrop for our particular genius to develop. It is in our genes, but we can let it enslave our minds. We should not get ourselves enslaved. Leader's path is consciously taken. You have to take a conscious, determined, devoted, dedicated decision of going in a particular direction. It may be challenging, but it has to be a conscious decision. Leaders do not just do well. Doing well is for ordinary people. Leaders have to create new context, and then you have to not just thrive but survive, or you have to flourish over there. Survive or thrive is not enough, you have to flourish. New ways of doing, new ways of being, that is what leaders have to do. Leadership is personal because personal integrity matters above everything else. It's a compelling vision to enjoy the risk, to enjoy the uncertainty, but that is what will define the leadership. Personal integrity. The who is important. What is who? We badly need leaders. So somebody has to be leader. Why it should be somebody else? Why not you? There is a strong link between self-knowledge and success. Whoever has a self-knowledge will be a leader. Leader is not the one who is satisfied with doing the job. Leader is not the one who just wants to run the company. Leader is the one who wants to make history. Leader is the one who wants to make a change. Leader is the one who wants to innovate. Firms get ahead by assisting their employees to be all they can be. If you are able as a company to help your employee have their full potential, then the company will move forward faster. Leader is the one who is compelled to find an outlet for his personal vision. He wants to save the world, change the world, serve the world. Leader is somebody who goes for his personal vision. What is a myth? Leaders are heroes. Leaders are born. Leaders are not made. That is a myth. But the fact is, everyone can lead. Today, being a true democracy, in the corporate world, anybody and everybody can be a leader in some way or the other. You don't need to have a title for that. As more people understand what leadership means, as more leadership is taught, as we understand the leaders are made and not born, we can try to achieve our potential. We can bring out our capabilities. And actually there will be competition at ridiculous levels because everybody is growing and leading. To become a leader is to claim power. To become a leader is an assurance that you are one of and unique. Competition is the result of everyone striving to win at the same thing. The personal vision of every leader is unique. The personal vision of every organization is unique. So in spite of everyone being leader at every time on every activity, there is possibility to be better because there is uniqueness blended in everybody. There is something that we learn from Norman Lear, who is a television or a film personality. What is it? We need to be self-expressive. We need to listen to the inner voice. We need to learn from the right mentors, and we need to give ourselves a guiding vision. This is what will make us a leader. Competition is a result of multiple people doing or chasing same goal, while leadership is bringing out your unique talent. There are some must-haves that every leader should have. Those are, you have to be daring, you have to be curious, you have to be trustworthy, you have to be mature, you have to be candor, you have to have self-knowledge, you have to have passion, and you have to have a guiding vision. Candor is very important because you have to speak your word and walk the truth. What is knowing yourself? We are our best teachers. We need to teach what we are. What is our capabilities? What are our limitations? And we are responsible for giving right feedback to ourselves. A leader knows his own strength and limitations, and he has the confidence of becoming a leader. So positive thinking, the possibility feedback, all things will come from you to you. We are capable of learning just anything. We are capable of unlearning everything. And learning involves reflecting on our own strengths and weaknesses. Knowing the world. We can learn about the world through our own experience as well as the experience of others. We can learn from our mistakes and that of others. We learn about the world from our mentors, from the books. Knowing how the world lives affects our decision, and our decision affects our world. It's not knowledge that we accumulate that is going to help us. It is what we achieve. It's a commitment of learning for the sake of learning that helps us understand. And this keeps on changing because everything out there is dynamic, real-time, online, changes do happen. Operating on instinct, we all need to know what skills should be applied to solve a problem. On the top of it, it has to become an automatic, it has to become habitual, it has to become instinctive. And that will happen only if we train ourselves. We learn from the world, and at a certain point leaders must learn to trust our intuition, not what comes from outside the world but what comes from within you. You call it as inner voice, you call it as conscience, you call it as sixth sense, you call it as gut feeling. And this insight is accumulation of knowledge and experience that comes from your mind. What you have been listening to all along is now telling you what's the right thing to do. Deploying yourself is another skill or trait you need to have. It is strike hard, but then you have to try everything, every possible opportunity, every alternative. You have to use failure as a chance to try a new approach. The skills cannot become strong or better unless you try. And how you try? You have to put it to test. Every leader fails. It's part of life. Unless you try, you don't fail. The point is to accept failure as a learning process. Learn to face the situation. Don't fear. And implement the new skills. Try it out. You need to have a capability to move through the chaos. Leading in chaotic situations requires a leader who is willing to accept change and willing to accept mistakes and willing to accept that change is inevitable. The only constant thing is change. True test is knowing how to lead when things fall apart, when it is volatile. Managing the change requires adaptability, flexibility, patience, and more importantly, keeping your vision focused on the vision. Keeping your focus. Getting people on your side throughout the chaos is very important, because during change everybody is afraid and because there is uncertainty everywhere. The only way people get to follow you is if they trust you, they will follow you. How to bring trust? Constancy. Leaders stay on the course. Don't keep changing every day. People will think you are not aware of what is to be done. Congruity. Leaders walk the talk. Lead by example. Stick to theories that you espouse. Reliability. Leaders are dependable. They can be relied upon to give proper direction. They can be counted upon. They are with you when the team wants. Integrity. Leaders remain committed to their vision and are always true to their word and honor their promises. The sincerity, the honesty, that is integrity. Being true to what you say. The constraints of an organization must not stop the leader from leading. Because organizations, the institutions have their own culture, their own style, and it can either help or hinder the leader. The leader should continue to lead with the skills that they have learned here and elsewhere, believing in their effectiveness. They have to be having belief that their skills will be effective enough. Whether it is a bureaucratic red tape from the superiors or the lack of interest from the team below, leaders have to stay on course. Organizations can help or hinder, and that is why this is necessary. The constraints of the organization must not stop. The leader has to forge the future. How do we do it? The leader has to innovate his own activities and the goals and the processes of the organization. Only then one can be competitive, or else the old technologies will lead you to obsolescence. The leader, the company, both will fall into obsolescence. The leader has to promote effective communication. Only then everybody will be open-minded with their ideas and ways of innovating. The leader also has to create strategic alliances, so that you know how to be better in the face of competition. They need to tie all the things together, the various activities and the processes of the organization. Lead their followers, different people with a different background, with different abilities, with different outlooks, and then bring the organization to a brighter future. What are the takeaways? The leaders manage the dream by communicating a vision, recruiting carefully, rewarding, retraining and reorganizing. That is what the leaders do. The leaders have to develop a sense of culture that will remain in the organization even after the leader leaves. Leaders have a vision, a passion, and integrity. Leaders embrace self-knowledge and self-invention. Leaders change and grow. They learn continually. Leaders learn from adversity. They believe that mistakes can lead to growth and progress. They try out the new skills. Leaders know their goals, their drives, their values, and those of their organization, and then tie them together to take the organization to greater success. Leaders create a community based on consistency, congruity, reliability, and integrity. They build teams that will work with precision even in their absence without a supervision. Leaders create strategic alliances and partnerships because with a single hand you can never clap and make sound. What are the lessons that we learn? Leadership rests on three key lessons. Staying with the status quo won't work. Key to competitive advantage is the ability to create intellectual capital, that is the intelligence of the people in the team, and then the followers, the team always needs a direction, to be told what to be done and what is expected. For that they need trust and hope from their leaders. Trust is pivotal, and trust will be there only if you are having good communication with your team, open-mindedness. Leaders manage the dream, not the team. Leaders have to communicate the vision properly because of this reason. They have to recruit carefully, they have to reward, and they have to retrain, reorganize, and regroup their teams. So is it enough for a leader to do the things right? No, the leader has to do the right thing also. Leader has to do the right thing also. Leaders manage because the success depends on the ideas. The leaders have to be aware that the relationships and adventure are as much important for the team to get to their goal. Ideas only provide the basis for the change, but you need the intellectual capital of the team. Relationships are those that permit people to work in a harmonious environment. For that, you have to empower your team. Relationships permit people to work, while adventure gives people the bias, the force, the drive towards the direction that the organization wants. The curiosity or the courage to propel forward comes from the adventure. So, the relationship and adventure go together. Taking charge of your own learning is very crucial. So, what does a leader do? The leader first agrees that leaders are made, not born. Then they will agree that there are areas where they need to get additional training. What are their strengths and what are their weaknesses? And then they will know that they are made by not by the world around them but by themselves. Second, leaders agree that leadership is not to prove themselves out, not to compete, but to set out to express oneself, to blossom, to flower. So taking charge of your own self is very important and crucial for a leader, because leader need to know that he himself is the one who makes him a leader, and his job is to express himself. What is the sense of where the culture is going to be is important for a leader, because leadership is not a matter of talent. A lot of gifted people are out there who find it very difficult on a daily basis because the culture, the background, the values, etc. does not help them to get the results. Simple success is different from real achievement. You will be successful, but you will not be an achiever if you are not a leader. We need leaders desperately today. Without that, the world today cannot function. The process of becoming a leader is very much like process of becoming a human being. It is integrated. It's a lifelong process of you change yourself from being a normal person to become a leader. It takes time. Becoming a leader is an ultimate act of free will. A determined, dedicated, devoted, directed action is required from your side. You want to become a leader, only then you will become a leader. Leaders are responsible for the effectiveness of themselves and of the organization. Leaders are responsible for the effectiveness. Being effective is different from being efficient. People need something or someone to hold on to. And because people need something or someone to hold on to, the leaders have to be there, and leaders have to give them a vision and a goal to be driven to. Life is spontaneous and contradictory, while business thinking is linear and logical. Life is spontaneous and contradictory, while business thinking is linear and logical. And because life is spontaneous, you need to be unique, and your action, your habits, your leadership skills, your talents, your strength has to be instinctive and spontaneous. Refuse to be deployed by others. Choose to deploy yourself. You decide what to do. It has to be your own free will determination to be a leader. Leaders first require a guiding vision. Then leaders need to have a passion for their work and for life in general and for the organization's goal. Third, leaders need to have integrity, that is self-knowledge, candor and maturity, mature to accept the feedback, self-knowledge that there are things that you need to learn and there are things others are much better than you. And then integrity generates the fourth part, that is the trust. Trust cannot be acquired, it has to be earned, and it has to be earned by your action. If you walk the talk, if you stick to your word, if you honor your promise, you will get trust. Leaders must be unflinchingly honest with themselves. Leaders must do more than doing things right. They must do the right thing. Leaders need to innovate and take risks. Leader need to learn as much as he can, and then leader need to embrace the mistakes and learn from them. You also need to agree and accept that others make mistakes and learn from that and teach them and train them to prevent such mistakes. Managers administer and maintain and imitate. Leaders innovate, develop and take long view. So management and leadership is a different thing. Leaders make their own lives. Managers manage lives. If you go on doing what you have been always done, then you will get the same results. So managers focus on systems, leaders change the status quo. Managers are good soldiers, leaders are their own men. Self-invention is vital for the leaders to become whatever it is. Nothing is truly yours until you understand it, not even yourself. Your feelings are raw and they are unadulterated truth. You have to understand, refine it, polish it, make it a vision, make it a mission and give it to the team to achieve. Leaders learn from other people. You cannot change the past, but you can change yourself and the way you respond and the way you learn by reflecting it, reviewing it, whatever happened. Make yourself your own by understanding. Avoid burnout. How can we avoid burnout? How can we avoid burnouts? By practicing. What is practice? Retreat, renewal and return. Learn what you have to do. Take a retreat, renew yourself and come back and then do it properly again. Learning is preceded by unlearning, because in your childhood we are taught a lot of things, how to do, how not to do and how wrongly to do. So we need to unlearn. Leaders are product of heredity, of culture, of environment, of training, of education, of experience, of exposure. But leaders need to make themselves unique by relearning a lot of things. Leaders need to be active, leaders need to anticipate, leaders need to participate in the events that shaped them and not get bound by or enslaved by it. No leader sets out to be a leader. People set out to live their lives, expressing themselves fully. So a leader is somebody who wants to express himself. When that expression is of value, they become leaders. When the expression of oneself is of value to oneself and others, they become leaders. Maintain the perspective. Keep a sense of difference between what you are, what you can, and what the organization wants. Cultivate rich relationship with yourself, with your team, with people and above and below you, with your competitors, with your friends, with your colleagues, and all the allied souls. There are painful experiences in life when you try out something new. Learn from them. Look back and understand the present based on your past and seek future experiences that will give you learning opportunity. Always keep on the appetite for the knowledge and experience high. Your experience will become the basis for your life today and tomorrow. Learn to use it creatively. Tomorrow is always an opportunity to do something that is undone in a new way, innovative way. Rely on your intuition, rely on your conceptual skills, rely on logic, rely on analysis, but then be unique, be innovative in your actions. Your world should be wide and complex, and because of that, you should have more understanding of the things around you. People are shaped by the negative experiences because positive ones are not properly used for reflecting upon. To do anything well, you need to know what you're doing and you need to train others on how it should be done. Do you know what you want? Do you know your abilities and capacities? Do you recognize the difference between the ability and capacity in what you know and what you don't know? Do you know what drives you in contrast with what gives you satisfaction? Do you know the difference between the drive and the satisfaction? Do you have values and priorities? Do you know your values and priorities and that of your organization? Do you know are they in sync or are not? Do you know the difference? These questions will tell you what your goals, drives and values and that of your institution are, and then how to move forward. Once you have measured, you will be able to monitor the progress. These differences, if you are willing to reconcile, leadership is an easy thing to do. Drive has to do with a desire to prove yourself. Drive is only healthy when it is paired with a desire which springs from the vision. If the desire is not springing from vision but from the short-term reward, it doesn't help. Leadership demands mastery, competence, dedication, focused practice and strategic thinking. Decide where you want to go. Flesh out the rules and get there. Start working towards the goals from the very first moment. Find opportunity and value in every situation to innovate, to take the next step. Do not dwell on the possibility of failure, but concentrate on the task on hand. So what are the alleys? Leaders need to encourage innovation. The leader of the future should have broad education, should possess boundless enthusiasm, should believe in people, should be committed to excellence, should show readiness, vision and virtue, should be able to innovate in every sphere. That means leaders need to repair the weaknesses of themselves and that of the organization and take the organization forward. For this, leaders need to learn from the experience and mistakes, offer opportunity for growth for their team. Leader has to communicate with the community, the stakeholders. Leaders should be willing to take risk and allow others to take risk. Leaders should be devoted to long-term goals and long-term results. Leaders stay the course, live their talk, show up and honor their role. Leaders stay the course, live their talk, show up and honor their words. Thanks for watching this video on Becoming a Leader by Warren Bennis on a Be Better series of videos.